Hey everyone, my name is Jeff with Pie of Genius, and I am excited to bring this new episode to you because it is something that for most of my life, and I still do, it's something that I struggle with, right? Um, and this is really about on your team, the difference between tension versus anxiety? Tension versus anxiety. Do you have tension on your leadership team? Do you have tension with your employees? Is there anxiety on your leadership team with your employees? Um, and here's the deal. You want to have tension. You do not want to have anxiety. And let me break this down on what I mean by that. Um, as leaders, or if you're the boss, sometimes you think in your head what you want to say is, this is what we're going to do. This is where we're going. Here's why we're doing it. And everybody just to fall in line and follow your lead and do it. There's just one problem with that. It seems fine in the beginning, but what you may have are just a bunch of people who are following you, but really haven't bought in to what you're doing. Um, you want them to have ownership. And oftentimes, for people on your leadership team or your employees to have ownership in what you're doing, they need to kind of debate it and push back and figure out what's what, right? Um, and so this, I want to break this down a little bit, so hopefully it'll make sense. And you can have a conversation, or you can watch the leadership team and see what comes up. Hopefully you get some tension and not anxiety. All right, so tension, I'm gonna look at my notes just so I get this right, so I write this down the right way. So tension, you actually have healthy debate. In anxiety, you have unhealthy conflict. F-L-I-C, conflict, often which is personal. It's personal conflict, right? You're not having debate over the practice or what you're doing. It starts to get personal. People feel hurt, whatever. Okay. Healthy debate versus unhealthy or personal conflict. Tension, it can create expansion. Expansion of ideas, like someone says something and someone says something else, and then, oh, let's see this from a different perspective. That can happen. With anxiety, you don't get expanding, you get shrinking. Because people wind up just shutting up and not sharing, and you don't get the full ideas, ideas to come out that maybe we weren't even thinking about before. So with tension, it's neutral. It's just a conversation, right? You're debating facts. With anxiety, it's negative. Okay, people are feeling personal. They're taking it personally. They're not just discussing the issues. It's not neutral, right? Tension can just be, it's just neutral. There's some friction there because we disagree or don't see it the same way, but it's just neutral. It's not negative. With tension, people have difference, which is fine. People have different opinions. They can see it a different way. But when there's anxiety, it's really sort of that feeling of opposition. It's me versus you. People get attached to their idea instead of to the outcome, right? They're you're not in tension. You celebrate the difference, but there isn't opposition. You're together. And then the last two I have are with tension. There may be some unknown as you're going through the process. Well, I'm not so sure. Prove that to me. There's unknown, right? But with anxiety, there's this feeling it's unknowable, right? They just feel like, oh, it's never going to be known. We're always going to be fighting. It's unknowable. And that's just creates this anxiety versus tension. There's just unknown. And then the last one I have is with tension, there's hopeful, that we're going through this process to come up with an outcome and a resolution that's going to be best for everybody. But when it's just anxiety, it's hopeless. So healthy debate, expansion of ideas, neutral discussion. You're celebrating the difference. There's unknown, but it's all right. And you're hopeful. And what I encourage you to do is, and I get it, it's hard as a leader when someone doesn't agree with you, they don't see it right away. But I'm sure you can see the value that when you allow your leadership team to hash it out in a where people trust you, you need to have trust for this to work. You need to have humility for this to work. You need to have everyone sort of having this team mentality of we want what's best in the end. But you need to be able to, Brene Brown had this word she calls it, you need to be able to rumble. You need to be able to rumble and embrace the rumble on your team where you can have healthy debate. You can have expanding ideas. You stay neutral. You celebrate the difference. And there may be unknown, but you know you're going to figure it out and you have hope. Be willing to embrace the rumble, embrace the tension. And so I encourage you today, the next staff meeting you have or leadership meeting or whatever you do, to maybe share that what you actually want to have is some rumble, some tension, but smile about it, knowing that you're doing it so that the outcome is even better. It's even better because you're getting the perspective of the diversity that's in the room, and it requires listening and really listen to understand and not just listen to then say your next point. So anyway, so that's the exercise, is just to, have a conversation where you intentionally set out beforehand, I want there to be tension. I want to have healthy debate, and just see what comes up, see what insights you get, see the outcome you get, and then see if after that, when you make a decision, that you don't have buy-in from everybody at the table, that then as it goes along and maybe things get difficult, people have bought in because they own it. It was partly my idea, my input went in to make our decision, because that's what you want. You just don't want followers. So, all right, I hope that was helpful. This is Jeff with Pie of Genius. Until next time, keep thriving. All right, guys, have a great day.